Books make you hope. Books make you dream. Books make you laugh. Books make you scream. This is the Books That Make You show, discussing books with authors and experts, unraveling the inner pages of all the books that help make us who we are.
Welcome, everybody. It is time for the Books That Make You show. I'm your host, Desiree Duffy, and I want to say thank you to Novelty Tins because they provide us with these bookish tea tins. Yeah, I know they look like books, but they're tea tins. There is tea inside of here, and they have all kinds of bookish types. This is like Peter Pan, but it's Pyoki Pan. You really got to check them out. It's noveltytins.com. They are perfect if you're a bibliophile or a tea lover, or, as most of us are, both. Thank you to Novelty Tins. Today, we're talking about books that make you go on a harrowing journey through the eyes of somebody who was kidnapped by militia, but rose up into a position of leadership. Paulino Mamiir Chol was kidnapped as a child. He was separated from his family and taken to Northern Sudan by gunpoint. Yeah, I know. He ended up marching barefoot across 3 African continents on a quest for freedom. He ended up rising up and he became a leader to the frightened and hungry band of boys who the world would come to know as the Sudanese Lost Boys. Paulino Chol tells the story of his journey in his book, Leading the Lost Boys, The Untold Journey. Chol is presently pursuing his Ph.D. in Management and Homeland Security at Colorado Technical University, and he has a master's degree in Law and Policy from the University of Denver, Sturm College of Law, and he also has a Bachelor of Arts degree in Criminal Justice from the University of Colorado. And lastly, he is an Associate of Applied Science or has an Associate of Applied Science degree in Homeland Security and Emergency Management. Paulino, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. You are such an accomplished man. And the fact that you came from such a devastating, frightening, unimaginable, I cannot imagine your story because it seems so devastating and incredible, but it's true. And that's what people will find when they read your memoir. Can you start? Because I know there's a lot of, you have different things that happen at different times, and you marched across the desert, but it started in the very beginning when you were kidnapped by the Sudanese militia. And that not only happened once, that happened twice. Can you start by telling us what happened the first time that you were kidnapped and taken away from your family?
Yes, I was taken away from my family when I was 7 years old. At that time, I was taken to the Northern Sudan by Maralin militias, and I stayed with them for 3 months. One of my tribe, Dinka, escaped with me at night, and I returned to my village. Within those months, the militias, they still following us, and they destroy our village. They kill men, they kidnap children, kidnap women, take the cattle, and burn down the village. That time, I plea with my uncle, Matora Malwal.
Mm-hmm.
We walked for 3 months, going to Ethiopia. That time I was included to other children, and they call us Lost Boy of Sudan at that time. In that refugee camp, I become a leader while I didn't know anything about leadership. But I try to be fair with them, to help from below to the above, because the younger, they were suffering a lot. They cannot get food. The older boy, they used to beat them up or they overwork them. And when they are playing with the football, they just beat them up or they fight them. But at that time, I try to be fair, and I try to have a leadership of 19 boys. And that time I get promotion. Because the teachers who were taking care of us too, they see who can be fair with the boys. So when they see your qualities, your leadership qualities, they keep bringing you up such that you can supervising more boys. So I started my leadership with 19 as a team leader, and then 51, and then I reach up to 200, and then until I lead about 700 Lost Boy when we left from Ethiopia to Kenya. That time we still work on food, and we face different obstacle on the way. Lion, scorpion when we sleep under the tree without luggage, and then a snake too. It beat us at night, and even when we work, we work on the in the grass. We're going to Ethiopia, going to Kenya. And then we came to Kenya. We stay over there in Kenya for a while. And then later on, the United Nations, they say that you are lucky. You will go to the United States. So that time they brought the forms, and you fill out the form about your relatives and your life story, how you flee from your village to the refugee camp, and why you want to go to America. Then we fill that form out, because that time we become a little bit educated. But it was class 4 to class 5 at that time.
Yeah.
But it was better than when we were in Ethiopia. But in Kenya, it was better. So that time I came to America in 2004, and I went to Arizona, and Arizona was not good with my African blood. It was too hard for me. So that time I changed my mind, and I said, let me go to a state that can be, it's not hard and it's not cold. So I choose Colorado. I went to Colorado Spring. Stay in Colorado Spring for a while, and until I come to Denver 3 years ago when I was admitted at law school.
Right.
And here I am.
Nice. That is quite a journey, I must say. Let's go back, because I just want to set the stage for what you experienced as how little were you when you were first kidnapped? 7, 8 years old?
Yeah, I was 7.
And you didn't know.
I was not familiar with my age as well, because my parents, they were not educated.
Right. And you didn't know when
I
you
didn't know.
Right. You didn't know when you were kidnapped. You had no idea what happened to your mom, and you had a sister or sisters. You had no idea what happened to them at that point in time, right?
I don't know. Yeah, that time. I started communicating with my mom in 2000.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that must have been amazing to reconnect with her. What was that like?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Because that time we were having a telephone communication. So she went to Khartoum at that time. And when I started communicating with her, the Arab, they ran after her until they killed her in Khartoum in 2004. So it was good I communicate with her, but it became bad when they kill her, because I am in America.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's unimaginable what was happening there. And the thing too is, when you and the other boys were together in Ethiopia at the camp, you came from many different tribes, and not everybody even spoke the same language. So communication was especially hard, right?
Yes, communication was difficult, and then cultures too. Because the food you like now, I don't like it. The same with the other tribe over there. Even the way the food has to be cooked is different. So that time we have difficulties of getting together such that we should eat the same food, and then we can understand each other the same languages at that time.
Yeah.
So sometimes other they just pick the fight. If they listen to me, then fight you.
Yeah.
The solution, but it didn't become a solution later on. After 2 years fighting each other, we found out that it was not okay in that way. If you don't understand yourself with that person, ask the other boys. They can help.
Sure, sure. Well, education was very important to you and the other boys too. So it was especially hard because people were speaking different languages and, like you say, came from different cultures. Can you talk a little bit about the education process? I mean, you didn't necessarily have school books and chalkboards, right?
Yeah, when we start school in Ethiopia, we just start in the sand. We just sit in circle, and then the teacher used to be in the middle, and then say A, and we write A in front of us, and then the teacher will check all the circle student who were sitting, and then B, C, it goes like that. And later on, they change themselves. The other teacher will come, math teacher, and then it start with 1, 2, 3. We goes like that. Even the examination, we did it in the sand. And later on, when we went to class 2, we used to share one exercise. They cut it into 2, and then the pencil into 2. And then when we come to class 3, the same thing. We get better when we came to Kenya. Yeah, Kenya, you can get your book and you can get your exercise. You can hear the books without their voice, but the exercise, you can get the exercise, the full one. So you just divided it, maybe math in one side, and then the English in one side, and then the other exercise. You
Sure,
just put the subject in a different way,
sure,
but the
sure.
same book. Yeah, especially two subjects should go to one exercise, but it
Right.
was better than
Yeah.
writing in the sand.
Exactly, exactly. Well, it's just an example of the resilience and the adaptability of the human spirit. I mean, if you don't have a chalkboard, if you don't have books, writing in the sand, and you and the others were able to learn that way, and it laid a foundation for you so many years later for your studies in the United States and for your leadership skills. And I want to get into that a little bit more too. Right now, can we talk about when you walked barefoot across the desert, across 3 different countries, and you experienced, like you mentioned, there were scorpions and there was lions. What was that like?
Yeah, it was bad because when we start walking from our village to Ethiopia, that time I was walking with my uncle. So a
Hmm.
problem of lion, snake, I can get help from my uncle. But when we walk away from Ethiopia to South Sudan again until Kenya, we were by ourselves. And that time, many boys they were eaten by lion,
Wow.
crocodile in the river because that time we don't swim too. So, but the militia they were chasing us away from Panyudo refugee camp in Ethiopia, and then kill a lot of people over there, and some they just scattered in the bush, and then the lion will eat them somewhere.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
It
it
must.
was bad. Yeah, it was bad. And even food, we just feed on the leaf of the tree and then the root of the trees. So we were not having food for about 5 months. And then later on, the Red Cross used to drop down the food in Pachala within South Sudan. That was the border of South Sudan and then Ethiopia. So we stay over there, and then the militia they came again. And that time I was almost to be kidnapped too, because I
Hmm.
was sick. And that time I remained behind, and then I just walked with other boys who were sick until we went to Kapota, and then Kapota they shoot us in the air too. The Sudanese military. So that time we ran up to Kenya. When we went to Kenya, at the time we didn't face any bomb up.
Yeah, yeah. And God, that just you give me chills, Paulino, when you talk about this, because it's just absolutely horrifying. The fear that you must have felt, and the pain and anguish when you saw, others that didn't make it. And the fact that you took your skills, your innate skills as a leader, and you decided that you would show compassion and that you would teach compassion and that you would lead with compassion. Can you talk about how compassion started for you from the bottom and worked its way up when you then were leading the Lost Boys?
My goal last time, I don't want boys to get mad each other.
Mhm.
I don't want a boy to blame himself that, yeah, because I am a little boy, that's why I am this one, I am this one. I was avoiding that one because I make myself open to them. When you have problem, let me know. Come to me. Don't fear that I am a leader, and then you need to get information request from somebody that can I talk to Paulino? Just come to me straight. Feel free. I will solve your problem. Like when somebody borrow something from that boy, and later on when he said, "Can you return that one?" Then the fight will break out. That time I handle that issue. If somebody borrow maybe a clothes, I can pay. I can give my clothes to that boys, and then I said, "You will return that clothes to me later on whenever you find it." And then that guy, that boy, feel happy because he got justice. He got what he want. So at that time, my goal, my compassion, to let that boy feel happy like me than like the other boy. We need to be happy.
Oh,
That was my compassion because I don't know, even when you got sick, you feel pain, and I have to sit with you. I have to comfort you. You will get better. We can take that person to a clinic, and we stay with that person. You get admitted at hospital, we stay with that person until you get released from hospital. So that feeling, that boy will feel comfortable because we are behind him, we are beside him. When they fight, I won't find the solution until the both of them they get happy and they can greet each other that the problem has finished.
mhm.
Then I make sure that they're done, they are in peace now. And that's why last time I handled them to become to believe in friendship, and that friendship bring unity among us. And
Mhm.
when we have unity, we can laugh, we can talk without feeling fear that person. If I say this one, maybe this guy will get mad. No, if you get mad, just say, man, what do you said? I don't like it. Or if that person don't agree, then let me know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just used to tell them that when that the other person say no, is no. There's no any divination.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
It would be so easy to be callous and cold and see the world in a negative way and not want to help or show compassion. So that's so commendable. Now, Paulino, tell me what you feel that the world needs to know about the Lost Boys. In writing this book, what is it that you want people to really understand?
Yeah, the readers, they still didn't understand about the lost boy. What was the problem and how we lived together for a long time. They still didn't understand that because we lost boy last time when we first get together, we were having problem to each other.
Hmm.
We don't speak the same language. We don't eat the same food. We don't we don't the way that person feel it was very different. The cultures were very different. But we try to manage it until we become one community. So that time, even today, we still remember each other. We need each other. Whenever you have problem, you call that person and say, "Hey man, this one," and then we advise each other, and then we change and go to the good direction we supposed to be.
Now, the world could learn something. The leaders of the world, different countries, because there are problems that are popping up all over the world. And yeah, there's a lot of unhappy situations happening. They could learn something about the unity that the Lost Boys showed because of all the diversity they went through. And in the end, look, you guys are still talking and friends today.
Yes. Like online now, we have a forum online because we want to get each other to know each other who is alive and who is not alive.
Mm-hmm.
Even our teachers, our former teachers, we are trying now to get them around the world. So
That,
some we get communicate with them, even our leaders who were taking care of us when we were in Ethiopia, because that time we were little. We get better when we come to Kenya. But when we were in Ethiopia, we were very little boy. Even we didn't know how to cook, but we try that time. We need, whenever you want to cook, then you sit behind the cooking pot. You cannot go away because it will burn. We don't know the time you will spend over there when you talk with the other boy. Maybe later on you smell it was burned already. So, but that time we try until we know how to cook. Now I still cook because I don't have a wife.
And that's a good skill to learn, no matter what.
Yes.
You always need to learn to cook.
Yeah, it was problem when we were in Ethiopia because other South Sudanese, they made fun on us. Why you cook for yourself? We said, yeah, I don't have mom, I don't have my sisters. So what can I do? I have to cook for myself because sometimes they didn't understand what was going on in the bush.
Yeah, that's a good skill for all men to have, Paulino. Trust me on that one. So when you're keeping in touch with your old teachers and the other Lost Boys from back in the day, have you told them about this book? What do they think about you telling your story like this?
They will read it because many cases were not written by other boys who wrote the books. There were 4 books, but those boys, they were individual. But my book is for all lost boys. The cases we handle among each other, the fight, the fight among us, and then the fight with other community. I wrote all those cases. Even the other cases, we went up to UNHCR in Kakuma. I wrote those cases. The incident that happened in Pachala last time with our teachers, because that time we were having problem with the teachers. They beat us like a donkey.
Oh.
Yeah, we tried to, some they ran away, some, like when as I was a leader, I used to defend others, little boy, because when you accuse the boys for something you think is not right, it's not true. Because there was a time I went with the boys, the cow was killed by lion, and then the other people told us that you can take that cow. And then when I went with the boys, I came with them, and then the teachers accused other boys that they took the meat. And I said, how come they took the meat while I have the knives? Right. That question, nobody answered from them. Because I said, how will you cut the meat without a knife? I have that case in my book. And then the Lost Boys, they want to hear that because it was a long time ago. It was in 1991. So they want to read it again. So the boys, they will read my book. They will like it. They will like it. When they see it, they will like it. And when they hear it, they will like it. They know that I wrote all the cases I handled when I was a leader. Because that's what make me different from other boys who wrote the book. The cases, they didn't have any cases because they were not about leaders. Right.
Your book exemplifies the leadership that you show.
Yeah. Even the case I went to UNHCR, nobody have that case. But I handled it. So that time we were having problem of ration card. When the resettlement of coming to America started, others boy, they can fight over one name.
Right.
And the UNHCR, they get confused who is the owner of that name. But they used me that time. They said, Paulino, because other teacher who was responsible for the Lost Boy recommend me to the UNHCR. Said, this guy will do it. Whenever you have a complication of cases, take that guy. He will investigate it and he will tell you the fact.
Yeah. Well, I love Paulino that in your book you lay down the facts and you tell your stories and you tell your truth. Sometimes different people have different perspectives, but I think that your story of resilience and leadership and coming out triumphant over all diversity is what really, really matters. And one of the things that you're doing to help others, which is very commendable, is the proceeds from the Lost Boys, the Untold Journey, is going to a foundation. Can you talk about the foundation that you've set up?
Yeah, the foundation will help our people back home with water. The villagers, they still don't have access to clean drinking water. In the village too, we don't have clinics. Like when the flood happened in South Sudan, many villagers, they die from that flood. And medicine too, they don't have medicine. So even malaria is still killing people now in South Sudan. It's the one of the leading disease in South Sudan. Malaria only.
Malaria, right?
Yeah. So the foundation will help people back home with water and medicine, building clinics and school, and it will bring Lost Boy together.
Yeah.
Because we are trying now to know who is alive and who is not.
Right.
And the foundation will do that to reconnect, and we can be having a reunion conference here in the United States, including our former teachers who are still alive, our former leaders who is still alive. We will invite them here in the United States for that conference, for a reunion. The foundation will do it.
Oh, that's an amazing thing. Oh my goodness. I could just imagine that reunion. What an event that will be. All right. Paulino, author of The Lost Boys, The Untold Journey. Can you tell everybody where they can go to find your book and to find out more information about you online, social media? Give us your details.
Yeah, they will find me on Amazon. If they Google Leading the Lost Boy and Untold Journey, it will pop up. They can go to my website too, www.myfoundation.org. They can find me over there. Whenever you put Paulino Mamiir Chol, it will pop up.
Yeah.
You will find the website, and you will direct you to the Amazon, and you can get the book right there.
That's right. You can't miss Paulino online. Yep. My goodness, Paulino, thank you so much for sharing your story with us and sharing it with the world. And congratulations on your book. I appreciate you joining us today on the Books That Make You show.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. And thank you, everybody, for joining us as well. You can find out more about us on our website. It's booksthatmakeyou.com. Also, we are on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Make sure you join our newsletter so you always find out the latest news and events and catch up on all your favorite Books That Make You shows, and subscribe as well to our YouTube channel so you're always informed when the latest episodes are released. Until next time, all of my bookish buddies, please enjoy all of the books that make you exactly who you are.
The host and executive producer of the Books That Make You show is Desiree Duffy. Sound mastering and engineering by Dave Napox. Social media and content promotion by Siddhi Jahagirdar. Copywriting and editing by Mike Robinson. The Books That Make You show is an award-winning podcast produced by Black Chateau Enterprises.